Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Today we're discussing the critical issue of access to financing by micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs. The Development Bank of Jamaica, the DBJ, has been facilitating this process, and in studio is General Manager of the Strategic Services Division, Christopher Brown. Mr. Brown, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
What a big title that is. What do you do?
At the Development Bank, there are many activities that I'm responsible for. The primary one is capacity development for the bank.
Yes.
But I'm also in charge of strategic planning and research and product development for the bank.
Let's start with the MSMEs. What are the services you lend them? We know that people that need money and they are considered to be the engine of growth as it relates to growth and development, yes?
Correct.
So what services do you offer to them?
Well, one of our primary services, as I mentioned, is capacity development.
Yes.
So we understand that MSMEs, in order to operate their businesses more efficiently and even get investors, whether they're going for a loan or a private investor, they themselves need to be ready. So we have a number of different programs that gives grants and technical assistance to help these MSMEs to understand how to operate their business better. It could be training programs to teach you how to do proper accounting. We have programs that allow you to actually get the accounting services done, get business plans done, get marketing plans done. I would say a number of the different requirements that the banks will say you need to have in order to access loans. So there are a number of different programs we have. We give grants of up to $4 million, dependent on the different program, that will allow businesses to test their ideas, especially if what they're doing is very innovative.
Grants mean that they don't have to pay it back, right?
That is
so
correct.
$4 million.
Right. So
yes.
Some of the programs, we have a program currently called the Ignite program, which is focused on innovative businesses. So somebody bringing a new product or a new process to the market. They were able to get $4 million to be able to develop that prototype and help to bring it to the market, so to make it commercially viable.
Yes.
There are other programs we have, which is our Voucher for Technical Assistance program, which allows any business to get up to $200,000 in grants to be able to get the necessary documents that I mentioned. Get a business plan done, get your accounting done, get your financial statements done, as well as, I think there are at least 20 other services that you can get access to with that particular program.
With that money that you don't have to pay back. So how does that work, though? How do you help in this regard? Do you actually have a technocrat who sits with the persons and help them to do the business plan, or that's how it works?
Well, currently there's a portal, dbjvoucher.com, that you can visit, and it will list all the services that we offer. It will also list the accredited business development organizations which you can go to. So you'll get a voucher, you carry it to one of these technocrats, technical service providers, and they would be able to give the necessary assistance that you require based on the voucher that you particularly have.
So how do people know about these facilities? What are you doing to ensure that people know about these facilities?
Well, there are a number of different marketing campaigns that we run. Opportunities like this where we come here, we tell people about the different programs we have. We partner with the approved financial institutions or commercial banks or microfinance institutions or other financial institutions who offer our services to let their clients know about these particular services.
So the approved financial institutions, these are regular banks?
That's correct.
Yes, yes.
In addition to commercial banks, we have credit unions that are approved financial institutions. So SMEs that want DBJ financing can go to 23 different financial institutions
across the island
to ask for a specific DBJ loan. And what they will get are loans at concessionary rates or concessionary terms. So either lower interest rates than what you would normally get walking into the bank, or for longer tenures or a longer time for you to repay the loan. Maybe it's normally 5 years. In this, you can get up to 10 years.
Right. So you have some control over the interest rates that the institutions will lend?
Well, dependent on the program we have, we indicate to the banks that they should not lend above a certain amount. So it isn't the misconception out there is that we lend to the banks and then the banks add on a lot more interest rate and makes our money more expensive. But it's quite the contrary. What we do is we indicate that there is, let's say, a maximum that the interest rate can be to try and ensure that MSMEs still get at concessionary rates.
All right, tell me who is
MSME.
MSME, right?
Okay, MSME, well, it's micro, small, and medium-sized
Right.
enterprise.
Who is micro, who is small? What
Micro
qualifies me?
is, if your annual revenue is less than 15 million J, you'd qualify as a micro entrepreneur business. If you are less than 75, so between 15 and 75 million annual revenue would be a small business. And then a medium-sized business would be 425 million or less.
Okay, all right. So I need a loan from DBJ, not from DBJ, but through your facility.
Right.
The first thing I do, I approach the bank or the institution,
Right.
and I say I would like to, what's the step? Tell us
Right.
about
So when
steps.
you go to the bank, any of these financial or approved financial institutions, you indicate that you want a DBJ loan. They will tell you there are different requirements that you need to bring. It's a business plan, a marketing plan, to show that you have some kind of management capacity.
Yes.
What you can do at that point in time is log on to our voucher portal, apply for a voucher, and carry it to one of these service providers.
Okay.
After you get what the banks have asked you to provide, you can go into the bank and then request a particular loan amount. Let's say it is $10 million you want to borrow. They would typically ask you to have collateral to be able to secure the loan. This is where DBJ's credit enhancement facility comes in,
all
where
right.
we will
Yes.
guarantee
Yes.
up to $30 million or 80%
Okay,
of the loan.
let's continue with this discussion on the enhancement fund when we return from the break.
Okay.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. You know, your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, you know, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Christopher Brown, who is the General Manager for Strategic Services Division at the Development Bank of Jamaica, the DBJ. Mr. Brown, when we were going to the break, we were talking about the Credit Enhancement Facility. Tell us about that.
Okay, so the Credit Enhancement Facility is really a guarantee program. So it helps businesses that don't have enough collateral to get collateral support from the DBJ. So currently, our program allows for us to provide a guarantee of up to 80% of the loan amount at to a maximum of $30 million. So if a small business is borrowing $30 million, DBJ would provide a guarantee for 80% of that. So 20% or just about is what the MSME would have to find to be able to get access to the facility. And we think this is a critical driver for the ecosystem, the marketplace at the moment, because we understand that small businesses may not have enough collateral to be able to access the necessary financing to improve their operations. So we've introduced this particular program. And what we really want is we want the banks to recognize DBJ as that key facilitator. So any bank that is interested in lending MSME loans needs to take advantage of the Credit Enhancement Facility.
Right. So you just guarantee 80% of the loan without anything, just like that?
We believe strongly in the development of MSMEs, and we want to really partner with our banks to be able to make that a reality. And the banks themselves may see it as kind of risky for lending to MSMEs, so we are stepping in to really help them to lend more to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises.
All right. Other services to the MSMEs, tell me about.
Okay, so I would mention two other services that we have. We're working on a new program currently called reverse factoring. which allows small businesses who normally get paid in 60, 90 days, different credit terms. And it takes a long time for them to actually get paid, for them to be able to be paid early.
Yes.
So when the program starts, you would see MSMEs being able to get paid within 5 or 10 days versus waiting 60 or 90 days to be able to get funding. So it's a very innovative product that we're looking at launching, which should be launched by the end of this year or early next year. And it would help businesses to get the working capital, the money that they need on a quicker basis to be able to turn it more efficiently.
Right, so this will provide a release of the funds faster.
Correct, good. And then another program that we have is our venture capital program, which allows businesses to get equity investment. So there are two different types of money that you would get. One is a loan that you'd have to pay back on a monthly basis. And then the other is equity, which is really some kind of ownership in the business where there is dividends that is paid more as return. And that is patient capital. So it's not intended to be repaid immediately, but you can take a longer time to be able to pay out anything out of your business. So it really helps your business. It's money that doesn't require a return immediately, but over a longer period of time.
Doesn't require them going to the bank to pay back money. So it's like a 60
day. It's probably more like a 5-year kind of time span. Yes. So an equity investor, the funds that we have, they would look to invest in businesses. And yes, they expect to get a return, but they expect to get a return over a longer period of time instead of on an ongoing basis.
And that is also through the banks?
No, it's through different funds. So we invest in private equity funds, and those funds will then invest in small and medium-sized enterprises. We actually have a fund that we're planning to launch next year called the SME Fund. It wouldn't be a DBJ SME fund, but we are helping the private sector to set it up and invest in small and medium-sized enterprises.
Yes. What are some of the issues you're having with MSME owners who are not coming forward because you have all of this money to unlend, but I've heard the cry all the time that people are not taking them along. What are the problems? And tell us what we're to do to ensure that we get the funding or to access the funding, yes.
Right. I think there are a number of businesses who believe it is better to remain in this informal state.
Yes.
But something we try to encourage all the businesses is that the more formalized you get is the more access you get to these services. So most of the services I'm mentioning, you need to be a registered entity to get access to. So we strongly encourage the formalization. The other thing is that a number of the businesses are not sure how to manage these operations, and that's one of the complaints on the bank side, that the businesses themselves are not ready. The programs we have, such as the Voucher for Technical Assistance, the Ignite program, or other capacity building programs, are geared at fixing that particular issue, helping businesses to get themselves more structured, get their books in order, have them be able to walk into a bank and say, this is, or to an investor, it doesn't have to be a bank, to say, this is what my business looks like. I'm a good business to invest in.
So you don't leave them as soon as they get the loan, right? You will stay with them and help them as they build to become...
After they get a loan, they can continue to accessing these services that we have to help them to manage the business. Well, the programs that I mentioned are grant programs, so there is no cost to pay back the DBJ.
Yes. There's another initiative called the FETA, FETA?
FETA.
Tell us about that.
So FETA is another one of our capacity development programs, which was really more on the side of financial literacy. So we're teaching micro-entrepreneurs about the importance of managing your books, keeping particular records. It doesn't have to be this fancy accounting firm that you're going, but you can be using an exercise book and writing what you sell for a particular day, as well as passing your money through a bank. There are people who have these cash-based businesses and there's no evidence that they are earning the amount that they say they earn. And then they walk into a bank to try and get financing, but the banks have no record that you are actually earning the amount you say. So we encourage businesses, if you sell something today, deposit in the bank. If you need to draw it out the following day, because you need to buy goods on a continuous basis, then you do that. But that indicates to the bank that you are actually making money and that you're a good client for them to lend to.
Talk to us about the take-up of these offers that you have.
Right. Well, over the past 4 years, we've supported over 3,000 MSMEs in getting capacity building, access to capacity building services. Again, whether it's in the voucher program or the FETA or any other capacity building program. And we've seen where this has had impact on these businesses. The businesses have been able to go into a bank and get access to a loan, or even just manage their businesses more effectively and turn more revenue. The whole purpose of business is to be able to generate revenue so you can employ more people and grow. That's what we're about, helping the businesses to do.
Okay. Any success stories you want to share with them before we go?
We have many success stories.
Yes.
There are companies who have come through our programs within the university. They have accessed our grant from our Ignite program. They've gone on to borrow loans from a bank and also gone on to borrow, getting equity investment as well. So they've gone through the full gamut of the cycle of business.
So there are opportunities, and we're urging our small and medium enterprises to come on out and get funds from DBJ, get help to do your business plans and so on. Thank you so very much for sharing with us today on this program.
It was my pleasure.
Good. If you are an MSME owner and need funding, make sure to contact the Development Bank of Jamaica at 876-929-4000 and speak with an agent. You may also visit their website, dbankjm.com, to learn more about their products and services. This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Christopher Brown, General Manager for Strategic Services Division at the Development Bank of Jamaica. To watch this program again, log on to our social media handle at YouTube/WatchJIS. You may also stay connected to our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. Until next time, I'm Rose Campbell. Take good care.